welcome back to Tall Boy Radio. This is episode 63. We can share that now because we have the details we need about the extra special episode, which we've coming up, if we've calculated it right, next week. And this week, we're going to be doing something that we've promised to do on 62 different occasions, and that is do a follow-up podcast. So this week, we're going to be following up actually one of our more popular episodes that we've done, which was the dreams episode and the journals that most of us have been keeping. So without further ado, who wants to go first on the old introductions?
Don't all go at once. I mean, you know what, I started, so why not? Hi guys, nice to be back. It's been a rough few months, but it's nice to be back after hiatus. Hope you're all well and having a good having a good after exit for the pandemic, as it seems to where we're heading at the moment. So, and the sun's been out today, so it's always better when the weather's good. Yeah, man, tell me about it, definitely. So yeah, fingers crossed we're on our way out of this, what can only be described as debacle. So yeah,
indeed. So, and what are you drinking?
I'm currently literally just something of some Absolute and 7-Up, which I haven't had for a long time. So yeah, out of my dead man's fingers.
Oh, nice.
Glass.
Oh,
so,
that dude. Oh.
It's pleasant.
Haven't they just started doing a banana rum as well?
Sam sat literally to my right was saying about the banana rum, weren't you? And so, yeah, you definitely want to try that, don't you? Yeah, there's a big nod over there, so yeah.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Now, if you do the equivalent of a rum boilermaker, Andy, Mongozo banana and banana rum in it, how does that sound?
Sickly.
Absolutely. You can't think of anything worse actually, other than doing a pineapple boilermaker. Pretty much.
like some sort of like a toffee mixer, like a toffee sparkling mixer. So you could have a banoffee. Banoffee cut. Yeah.
I like where you're going with that. I like where you're going with that, dude.
There, so there somewhere.
Andy.
Howdy. I'm in the old Hay Club today.
Beautiful.
In Coke, because I need some sugar.
Give me some sugar, baby.
Give me sugar. Oh, you beat me beat me to it.
Adam 1, Gary 0.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it never ends that way in competitions. He always wins. Gaza?
Good old-fashioned favourite, Garden. It's been a couple of weeks actually since I've had that, I think, on podcast. And again, as per usual habit, TBR podcast glass. Looking forward to this, seeing where it goes. Let's see what all our dreams mean, if we can.
Indeed. Yeah, that should be interesting as it was last time anyway. So I am drinking another beer from the Eam Brewery. Now, I'll be honest with you, I bought a load of beer while I was in Eam, so this will be a theme for the next couple of weeks. Now, this one is called Bubonic Orange, and it is a chocolate orange stout. It was one of the ones, actually, I wasn't too thrilled about trying because chocolate and orange in a stout. I probably should be quite relieved that it doesn't taste of chocolate and it doesn't taste of orange. It just tastes like a regular stout.
So it's a lie.
With it being bubonic, does that mean it's lumpy? Little lumps of Baileys in it or something.
Oh dear. One that you have to chew down. No, not a fan of that. So while we're on the topic of drinks then, obviously this goes out a week later, but we need to give a shout out to our pals north of the border, don't we, in Scotland, who have finally gotten around to getting the Double Trouble whiskey available. That's my bottle, which I got at the start of the weekend, and if you can probably see, actually,
there's not much left.
There's nothing left. It's gone. But the pink gin is as yet unopened, so yeah. So I'm looking forward to cracking that one's getting opened over on the Easter weekend.
I still don't get gins. The juniper berries they make me very, very unhappy. But yeah, it's just like I just do not get gins at all. It's not gonna be it's never gonna be my thing.
Oh, this one's a really good one, and it's rhubarb flavored. And
with some custard.
Maybe, but no.
No.
Does anyone else have any shout-outs then before we give out some numbers?
Only to sort of semi-regular shout out to Ron again, who gave us some input into I think the last sort of couple of podcasts. So she's not quite yet plucked the courage up to actually come on and chat about it, but yeah, she regularly gives us sort of feedback and sends me her thoughts on the sort of topics and what she would say. So in particular, sort of the 80s music one. So, you know, I mentioned on the podcast, you know, the sort of phases that she went through and the friendships and the music. So yeah, big shout out to Ron, really, for me, and just the normal guys, you know, the normal sort of social media guys that retweet us all.
I think I saw Ron today. Actually, I think she cycled past me while I was taking the kids for a walk. Certainly, somebody went past on a bike and said hello, and I just looked past gormlessly back at them, trying to figure out who they were.
People beep at you, you don't just wave at them as if you know them, like I do all the time. So.
Got to hedge your bets, dude. It could be
someone else. Could be someone
just in case I do know them.
Absolutely. Come on, Ron. Just come on the show. It's fine. Come on.
Right. That's it. Christ, we've had Ken on. So
I'm still coming back. Just kind of quick shout out, obviously, to my friend with my Chicago Blackhawks jersey, my friend Jen in Chicago, and the guys at work at Palmoir in Macclesfield for reaching out and saying hi to me and checking up on me, especially Katie and Roxy.
There you go. Andy, do you have any?
No. No, you got your usual ones. I put an order in for the Double Trouble whiskey and gin, so just waiting for it to arrive and try and make it last longer than a week, hopefully.
Adam, how long did yours last? 2 days? 3 days?
3 days, I think.
3 days. So your bar's pretty low there, Andy. I think you're all right.
Yeah, that's it. You can do better than that, Andy. I'm pretty sure you can.
I've done a beer order as well, so I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
Separate. Some Belgian beers.
Oh, right.
Yeah, well, we've got Double Trouble beer coming soon as well to look forward to.
Can't come quick enough.
No, it can't come quick enough. I like the sound of that. So, like I said before we start, let's share the numbers. Number 43 in the Polish charts. And indeed, and back in the UK charts this week, number 147 for fans of snooker. That's pretty good, isn't it?
That's
Loving that.
So what prompted that rise back in? Was it just that you've got a steady influx of listeners, or has it just been a subject you've hit on? Or?
I think it's Andy. Andy's
Andy's led the last couple of episodes.
You know what?
It must be him.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for not actually recognising, you know, the talent that's obviously in the room. So sorry, Andy. It's all you, man. It's all you.
With lockdown easing up a little bit, people are driving more. That's what I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
To be fair, I think there probably is something in that. I think you probably are getting one or two more people that are commuting. You potentially are getting one or two more people that are sort of, as I say, in their cars or on trains or buses or whatever it is. So I think you probably are. I think there probably is something in that, Andy. But don't undersell yourself, dude. You know what I mean? It's like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? We might have stumbled across something here. Andy hosts it and our figures absolutely rock it. It's like, come on, sunshine, step up.
It's coincidence.
No pressure, dude.
There's no such thing as coincidence. I'll let Adam finish the quote, but
just
perhaps
coincidence where two paths of your life coincide. Was that Carl Jung, was it?
Was it Jung? Yeah, could have been. It's a vague, distant memory from A-level psychology days or whatever it was that I failed, so.
Indeed. Well, you say that, but psychology is going to come into play here, dude, so we're going to be relying heavily on you for some dream analysis because we're going to be delving deep into the TBR minds. And rather than just talking about the general dreams, which we talked about last time, we've kept a journal. I started mine on the 27th of November, and my last entry was a couple of days ago, actually. So I'm glad to have stopped it, to be honest with you. It got a little bit annoying, but that's my dream journal I've been keeping, my patented Beans Does Stuff dreams journal.
Available at all good retailers and some pretty shocking ones as well.
It's not available anywhere, unfortunately.
It's on the adult shelf.
Yeah, put your wallets away.
The musings
of
beans.
Mate, sorry.
Yeah. So I know, guys, you've been fairly diligent on this front, haven't you?
Yeah, relatively diligent. I like most things, I started off really diligently in sort of most days, and then as the days went into weeks and the weeks went into months, it just got slightly sort of less complete. But I went from pretty much every day to the dreams that I felt as though would be interesting to talk about and keeping a note of them, and there was a lot of days that was, I wake up or work stuff or no specific recollection, and I thought, I'm not just going to keep writing that day after day after day. So yeah, at the start, pretty diligent, if I'm honest, but then slightly less so the further we went in.
Cool. And Ken, you've been somewhat the opposite of that.
My sleep thing is my sleep patterns are fragmented at best. I wake up 4 or 5 times a night. Mostly at the moment, it's just been a case of just like, ow, or last week I think it was, where I woke up 3 or 4 times in the night, and it was literally that. I said in the paranormal episode about waking up and just there's somebody in the room, and I was awake. Somebody was there, and the whole just flush of adrenaline and stuff like that. So I've had that. There is one dream though I have that I do remember that I'll talk about later on. But yeah, I've not been as diligent or probably as diligent as anybody, because it's been a shocking few months for me. So I've just tried to focus on just getting healthy and just trying to stay upright mostly. So yeah, but there is definitely one dream that I'm interested in what's going on with that.
So then, Andy, we got Ken talking about staying upright in his dreams. What about yourself?
Shocking. Raise the tone, seriously.
I wasn't very disciplined with mine, but I've written down 3 that I thought I say interesting. I just thought they were probably a little bit of a window to my mind. So I thought, I'd keep these 3. A lot of my dreams just like reoccurring, and they just get longer and longer. So I've avoided them and just put these 3 down.
There you go. So Andy's gets longer and longer as well. Ken, sounds like you're in the same boat. I'll get my mind out of the gutter now.
That YouTube, demonetizes this after like the first 10 minutes if it's
yeah, I don't think we need to worry about that on YouTube, to be honest. So
3p check coming in, yeah.
That's it. So how we're going to do this then? Like, what we're going to do is like we did in the previous episode. We're going to talk about our dreams, just take it in turns, going around and round and round, and we'll do a little bit of analysis and chuck in a bit of opinion from the other guy. So who wants to go first by throwing forward one of theirs?
I've got a really easy, simple one, and I had to write this one down because it just sums up my feelings of, my day-to-day feelings. This one, if you don't mind me jumping in there.
Mm-hmm.
No, you crack on, kid.
You're the figures. You're the viewing figures, mate. Crack on.
So looking at my page, it's 2 lines, and it's basically I was working on a car. So because I got an old van, I'm doing lots of little bits to it. So I'm always like fiddling with something. So in this dream, I'm there like doing little bits to it. I can't really remember what. And then every like 2 minutes, one person will come up to me, talk to me. I'm like, yeah, go away, whatever. Carry on working on it. 2 minutes later, someone else comes. I think the dream was like, but it felt like it was hours, and it was just like random people, like even people I didn't know, like every 2 minutes just come up to me. And I remember waking up just annoyed. Just like, just trying to do one fucking thing here. And I was
so you woke up consciously annoyed about a dream and the fact that actually in your dream you weren't able to complete the task that you wanted to, so therefore in your waking self you were actually genuinely pissed off.
Yeah, I don't like.
So we've discussed. I think we discussed this on the first episode about dreams, but I'm sure we've all been in a situation where the other half has woken up and been annoyed at us because we've done something in a dream that we have no idea what's going on, but their entire day is then. Where people are just like, "Oh, I had a terrible dream, and you doing this and this." It's like.
But that was a dream, wasn't me.
It was
a dream.
Exactly, but again, Andy there waking up annoyed because obviously he hadn't been able to do something in his dream. So it's an interesting psychological standpoint. Is he frustrated? Is he frustrated that he didn't manage to get the task done, or was he frustrated by the fact that people kept interrupting him,
or we're actually talking to him,
engaging with him, interacting with him?
When I'm awake, I don't like not finishing stuff. I think it's partly that, and like I don't like people, so. Yeah, it's probably that as well.
But thanks for listening, though.
So the absolute perfect storm. He didn't get stuff finished, and people were talking to me. He didn't get things finished. Absolute perfect storm.
I'm not surprised he woke up in a rage. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There you
go.
Interesting enough, I've given it a quick Google here, and I think the common theme there is obviously the interruptions, and it could mean that things aren't going as smoothly as you'd like, that you feel like you're being sidetracked or not getting your point across, and like a stop-start pattern in your personal or professional life. So that's, again, it's fairly indicative of exactly what went on in your dream. It could be a direct correlation with, we talked, didn't we, at the start, actually, before we went live, about the ideas of starting our own business and yada yada yada. Could it be related to that? Your plans that you've had to put back, thank you to COVID.
Yeah, I should be a millionaire now.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So shouldn't we all?
Podcast figures go the same way with Andy in the lead. Then who knows?
Maybe. Who wants to go next? Then now we've put that one to bed. We solved his problems for him now.
I've got one. It's a bit sort of thing when I was in a hotel. Don't know where it was. And it was a big sort of multinational conference, and I was representing the UK. Don't know why. Don't know what for. Don't remember specifically what it was, but what I do remember in the dream, this is the weird bit, was that when we were eating, everybody had to eat at the same time in the sort of restaurant, and I've written it down there. So representatives of each of the countries had to sit in alphabetical order, and you couldn't sit with anybody from your own country. So you had to sit down effectively, like individually, alphabetically, but if you ended up with somebody from your own country, you then had to swap seats so you weren't next to somebody. Genuinely don't know why, have no clue. From recollection, the hotel was a picture like I want to say almost like an oriental sort of hotel. There were lots of sort of soft pillows, and the tables were quite low, and there was like lots of bamboo and stuff. So whether we were in sort of Korea, Japan, China, somewhere like that, but yeah, just weird the fact that like this bell rang and everybody went down, and you sat down. It's like, no, can't sit there, and it's like literally there's like a procession of trying to find where you sat, but literally everybody was in alphabetical order as you sat for your meal. And I remember waking up thinking, what? Like literally, I wake up. What was all that about? So that was a bit of a weird one. And that was one of the first ones when we said we were going to start the Dream Diary. That effectively was the second night after I'd started the Dream Diary. The first one I've written down there no specific recollection, but the second night was that one. So weird. Yeah, it's just I'd look at Ad's face. He's got no idea.
I'll tell you what, mate. It's Google. I've never seen Google so stumped.
I was going to say it might be part of your OCD. I think around that time you mentioned to us in your cutlery drawer, you like your knives all facing the same way and stuff. Maybe
it could have been some sort of weird, like you've gone sit there.
It's like chaos out of order. You want order, so it's sort of like ABC wants things in a certain way, and if things disrupt that.
Possibly, but it wasn't me in the dream. It wasn't me that was saying you have to sit there. I was just abiding by the rules of the canteen or whatever. Is that right? Okay, but yeah, I sort of get it. I think if it was me that was saying, right, I want everybody to be in alphabetical order, I sort of get that you want the order as opposed to chaos. But it was just weird, like genuinely random. Don't know why I was there. Don't know why I was representing the UK. Can't even remember what we were talking about. The only thing actually specifically I remember was we had to sit in this alphabetical order. But hey ho. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. Yeah. And I was obviously stumped.
Anything from Google? Anything at all?
I've narrowed it down to just dreams of things in alphabetical order, and actually, you guys have pretty much nailed it on the head there in terms of having to sort out tasks and start doing things in accordance with importance. Now, the other thing I'll chuck in there is it wasn't your idea, so maybe there's a feeling that order is being imposed upon you.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Whether or not it's something that somebody then, do you have to follow certain criteria that you possibly would do things in a different way, but you're being almost told that you have to do it in a certain way, and I don't know, but yeah, possibly so. So that's a bit of a maybe.
I didn't Google dreams of racial segregation. I don't want that in my search engine.
Delete history. Go then, Adam. What was one of your first sort of ones that you wrote down? Because I can see you itching to use your little dream journal.
Oh yeah. Well, the trouble is reading my handwriting. When I've just woken up, my handwriting's poor at the best of times. So
can officially confirm that that's indeed true.
It is true. Thank you. Thanks for backing me up on that one.
No worries, man. Anytime.
So I had one just before Christmas, which I noted down. And it's one of the first ones because I actually wrote it down and thought, wow, that is pretty. And I'll tell you why. So December the 22nd, I dreamt that Matilda, that's my daughter, and I had uncovered a glitch where naughty children got more presents for Christmas because the elves were awarding a present for each time a child apologised. So if you were naughty, you had more to apologise for and thus got more presents. And I thought afterwards, I tell you what, that is a Christmas movie. That's a Hallmark Christmas movie.
That is, and there's so many different things that you could bring in there to say, like, actually, every time you say sorry, yes, it's great that you're saying sorry, but why are you saying sorry? So what have you done initially? There's a whole moral Christmas film around that. I'm loving that idea, dude.
Well, my mum
that needs pitching, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. My mum always used to say, it's like, it's all very well apologising, but what are you apologising for? And if everyone just says sorry for everything, if they get more presents, then I think I know what I'm doing for Christmas. Definitely.
That definitely needs pitching, dude.
Yeah, I thought afterwards. I mentioned it to Kim and I said, I've just had this dream, and honestly, it sounds like a mint Christmas film. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good Christmas movie, and I enjoy a few not so good ones as well.
Die Hard.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I don't.
Yeah, well, it's it's certainly a movie set at Christmas. We're all settled on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, chime in the comments. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And would you like to see Bruce Willis in this Christmas movie as one of the naughty elves who's devising this idea? I would.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
As long as he's got
Will Ferrell, right? Gotta be.
Oh no, I think he's already made a fairly famous movie about elves.
Now you finish your dream journal, you can concentrate on this story.
I should, shouldn't I?
Absolutely. And then get Andy to pitch it. Can't fail.
I'll be the narrator.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Once upon a time, there was a naughty little boy. He drank all the whiskey.
Oh dear. That already sounded a little bit sinister, that one did, Andy.
The whiskey's kicking in now.
You see the dollars rolling in.
Yeah. What about yourself, Ken? Your dreams, I remember last time your dreams that you had were a little bit, they were really weird, you say.
Yeah, very weird. Obviously involving protecting my old high school and ended up in I always say my dreams either end up in some sort of weird, they're just weird. Whether that's medication or I don't know, but I think it comes down to, I honestly, most of them end up either in violence or some sort of gun battle or some sort of gunfight or, yeah. So, I mean, the one that I distinctly remember is I've recently taken on a new role at work as stock control. And I remember I think it was like 2 or 3 days into the role. I'm just like, right, okay, fine. I'm not going to take work home. I'm just like, and I remember dreaming we were at this, what can we describe as like a conference center auditorium, and we were the only ones in color, but everybody was wearing black and white, and we were in this sort of like amphitheater setting with the seats and the bank seats and stuff in a circle and main thing. And then we were pitching something with regards to work, and my line manager Mark was there, and Rachel, the ops director, was there, and a couple of other members of staff. And we pitched it, and we're just like, right, okay, we're waiting. And then this group just upped and left. And they were called The Fallen, and they were kids. And they just walked, and I remember turning around to Rachel and Mark, say, "What's going on?" It says, The Fallen, they've gone to Peru, they've gone to think about it. And I'm just like, right. Okay. So we're gonna get an answer to this, right? Because I think it's a really good pitch. and literally just like a third of the auditorium just emptied as they all went out en masse in like in lines, and it was just like, and everybody else was in black and white. There was no other color. We were the only ones who had color, but we were all wearing black and white, and they were literally just a group of kids who were called the Fallen, who went to go off and discuss whether we were going to get the funding for it or whether our pitch was good enough. And I don't have a explanation about. I don't know.
Pick your bones out of that then.
Yeah, go for it, guys.
The first thing I've searched there is the black and white versus colour thing. And actually, dreams where people are in black and white, the thought is they are not emotionally involved, where those who are in colour are. So that ties in with that. Dreams have been judged by children. I can't find that there, but it could well go back to your school days, which we talked about last time.
Absolutely, yep. Absolutely.
You work in manufacturing?
Retail, retail logistics. I work for Portmore, which is a swimwear and underwear company here in Macclesfield.
I wasn't going to insinuate them, but there's a lot of companies that use child labour. Maybe it's that.
Well, some of our stuff does come from China. So. No, we're ethical. We're not doing that. We're not though. But yeah, I just think it was interesting that literally the things I remember is them all walking out en masse, everybody being in black and white apart from us in colour. But even if we were in colour, you could see our skin was coloured, but everything we were wearing was black and white. Like, I guess like uniforms. It was very, very bizarre. And I remember it distinctly because I'd literally started this role 2 or 3 days earlier. And like saying about the emotional side of things, it's like I'm invested. I've been at the company 7.5, nearly 8 years, and I'm invested in the company. I'm invested in lots of time emotionally and physically, and I care about my role and I care about my job. So maybe because everybody was in, the people who work with were in colour. Maybe it's because I care about them and the emotional side of it, and maybe it's. But everybody out, they just walked out. It was like Children of the Corn. It really was.
Wow.
Seriously, everybody in black and white. Everybody had black hair. Everybody had white skin, black eyes, and they all just walked out. And they were called the Fallen, and they were going to decide on whether we were going to get the funding or not. And then my dream ended, and I woke up, and I was just like, "You what?" You know.
You didn't even find out whether they got the funding or not.
I know. I need an answer.
It's like the thing. I need an answer as well. It's like the thing is, like I said before in the first dream one, it's like I've had this guy since the age of 4 or 5 years old, who in my dreams has for the last 30, 40 years, last 35 years, 36 years, has followed me around my dreams. He has no face. Has a hat, appears in the weirdest places. And the one I distinctly remember is, I think I spoke about it in the first dreams one, is he literally, I woke up, I remember being at home at Western Avenue, where I used to live in Macclesfield. And I remember coming down the stairs, and I was just like, there's a knock at the door, open the door, and he's there. And there's no face, he's wearing a hat, and there's nothing. And then he'll just pop up out a window, or like appear at a window or something like that. And it's just like, it's like Slender Man.
Yeah.
Without being Slender Man.
Yeah, I just thought saying then.
But he's a person.
Slender Man-esque.
Yeah.
And like a guardian or something like
that. He's menacing, mate. He's not after looking after me, mate. He's definitely trying to get me. But some of my dreams is that maybe abandonment and stuff like that. But that guy's been following my dreams for 30 odd years. You were saying about dreams that are continuations. That guy has followed me for 30 odd years. And maybe it's because when I was a kid, my dad died, and maybe that's trying to fill the void with that, or I don't know, man. But yeah, he's not up. He's up to no good. That's for sure.
I did a quick Google on this.
Yeah, sorry, Andy, go on, mate. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I did a quick Google, and it's saying like, dreaming of a face is associated with identity. If you know the person in the dream, this is connected with how others view you. To dream of a faceless person has a focus on a loss of identity or inability to accept a person the way he or she is.
That is very interesting. That is very interesting. Yeah. Because I'm always more concerned about how other people think about me more than I think about myself. So, yeah. And I've spoken to Adam at the past when we worked together about how there's a time where you spread yourself too thin and you're always looking out for other people, and you end up spreading yourself far too thin where there's nothing left to give. So it's always that way. But yeah, that guy he's just literally up to no good.
Bit of a plot twist then. Maybe that person is you.
Maybe that person is me, trying to find. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to find myself. Maybe I need to go on a gap year. Maybe I need to go traveling around Asia and stuff. I don't know. Probably a bit late for that, but No, I think it's very interesting, especially the ones where I think I mentioned. I think we spoke about it in the first episode where the people you see in your dreams are people you've either met for half a second. Your brain will only give you faces of people you've seen.
Yeah,
it doesn't make them up. It can't make them up. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think in that first dreams episode that we did, when we looked at the faceless person, it was a possibility of an alien race, which obviously we know you have an interest in. So it could, I think that's what we thought it could potentially be about.
Yes.
So
he's got nothing, man. He's just grey skin. Which goes back to the greys, but normal human size, normal male, wears a hat, has no face, no eyes, no nose, no mouth, no nothing. It's basically the Slender Man with a hat.
Yeah.
So at least he dresses for the part. But it is. I mean, I'm sure if parapsychology or psychology in general just went into some of my dreams, I'm sure I'd be sectioned at some point. They are terrifying, and some of them are literally where you wake up in the middle, like the last few nights, whether it's been the medication or the fact I'm not healing as quickly as I want to, and I want to be back to work, but I physically can't right now because I just can't deal with the pain that's coming with it. It is the fact that obviously you wake up and it's a case of bang, I'm awake, and there's something there. And you get those goosebumps and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not sure what my brain's tuned to at the moment, but wow, could do with giving me a break.
I would be willing to bet that the medication probably plays a large part in that.
Yeah.
And Andy, then, what about you, good self? You said you had a couple of dreams that you were going to talk about. Let's have another one of yours.
Yeah. When you talk about the faceless man there, just that remind me of a lot of dreams I normally have of where, say I'm running, but then I'm running on the spot. I can't physically go through.
Yeah, we spoke about that. Yeah.
Just remind me of that. And funnily enough, I've not written that down on any of these ones. So yeah, it's all new content here.
Absolutely. never refresh content, because you were saying that was a continuation of a theme for you, wasn't it? That you have this continuation.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the same sort of thing for me? Because I know this guy's been in my dreams. He appears randomly every so often, and he's been in my dreams for 35, 36, 37 years now. And he appears just around. Is yours a continuation that long, or is this something that's been since you become an adult? Or
it's less now. When I was a kid, I used to do a lot of like playing basketball, football. I used to do athletics, and I think a lot of it was then where I always thought I wasn't fast enough or something like that.
Yeah.
So I used to dream a lot of running on the spot. So on that note, this second dream is totally different.
Go.
And you can't train this, guys. Honestly, you can't train this. It's just a beautiful segue.
This is I've written 2 lines again, but because it's quite a long dream, but I just broke it down really simply. So I'm in a hotel basement. I even forgot about this dream until I read this. I'm in a hotel basement and there's no light or anything like that. It's got like a little torch. And someone asked, I don't know who it was, someone asked me to go down there and clear it all out. And I don't know whether that meant like physical boxes or something, or whether there's someone in there. So there's like mooching around, and it's like I suppose a horrorish sort of dream where I get so far down this basement, there's all corridors and stuff like that, and it's all just full of zombies, and I just got to like fight my way out of it. So I'm just running around punching people in the face. Whether they're zombies or people, I don't know, but I put zombies down, but I think it was just I think the highlight I took from that was just wandering around this dark room, in corridors and stuff like that, for hours, like a hermit.
Wow. Okay. So that's yeah. I don't know what the symbolization of zombies are. Obviously, you know, undead and stuff, but I don't know in terms of if you're being chased by them or if you are hunting them, what the significance of that is. But
I put zombies. It could have just been people, to be honest.
You've openly admitted you don't like people.
I think the main memory I get from this one is just being in this dark space for hours and hours.
Yeah,
I got lost or what, I don't know.
That's the bit that I thought I'd Google, because that to me sounded like the most salient point out of it all. And the basement is, they say, dreams of being in a basement are associated with feelings that you have inside. These could be past memories, your unconscious feelings, deepest thoughts, or how you feel about other people. which we've already discussed. Obviously.
So punching people in the face. Interesting.
Yeah,
Doctor.
The basement is a representation of the different levels of your subconscious mind.
You do have a very big couch, mate. You could actually start doing a sideline in psychology. You could start doing that.
I tell you.
Reverend Dr. Beans.
Yeah, that's it.
Or Dr. Reverend Beans.
Dr. Reverend Beans.
Yeah. Well, that might be next. I'll have to get the doctorate next, but just for now, it is Reverend Beans. Yeah, you never know. Could be a sideline once, obviously, lockdown's lifted. I can't have people in just at this moment in time unless we start doing it in groups of 6 in the back garden.
2024.
Which we're allowed to do now, obviously.
Indeed.
Has anybody actually dreamt about lockdown or the pandemic or it being over or?
I tell you something, just as a slight aside, sorry, just to interrupt a little bit there, Ken. But one thing I've noticed is that, Andy's mentioned dreaming about a basement of a hotel. Gaz has mentioned a hotel. A couple of my dreams have been about hotels. Have they featured in anybody else's dreams consistently?
Not consistently, no. 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 Maybe I think I probably had one where it's the old Miss Marple, Hercule Poirot 1920s, 30s style hotels, that sort of thing. But they're fleeting, if anything. I usually turn up at those and it's like a murder mystery Cluedo thing. But yeah.
Not really. Other than maybe I haven't specifically written it down, but maybe obviously I play a lot of golf and stuff. Maybe you go and we're on like a tour and we're away for sort of 3 or 4 days, and the hotel effectively is which hotel we're going to stay in to go and play the next day's golf or whatever. But in terms of specifically a hotel, no, not other than the first one that I mentioned, which was that weird conference thing. That was the only one really.
Yeah, I thought that because obviously Ken had the conference centre, you have got the hotel, Andy's mentioned being in the basement of a hotel. I've had a couple of dreams about being in different hotels, normally getting into fights with people, strangely enough, which is not something I generally do. You'd be relieved to hear as a reverend. But yeah, I just wondered if that was going to... Indeed. Gaz, then, let's have another one of yours.
Right, I'm going to leave the weirdest one to a little bit later, but so this one was it was sort of COVID related, and it wasn't necessarily in terms of sort of coming out of COVID and stuff, but it was dreaming about I ended up going swimming, and that they wouldn't allow you effectively to declothe, so you had to go swimming in your clothes, because that they said it was to do with COVID regulations, and I remember thinking at the time, well, wouldn't you be better off with your normal outdoor clothes off as opposed to on? But then they were talking about it being cleansed in a swimming pool or something or other and all this. So I ended up trying to jump into this pool fully clothed, and I remember, and I've got it written down, managed to swim one length before slowly drowning. Now, I didn't die when I was drowning because I did actually manage to get to the side and get out. But literally, I was like just swimming fully clothed. And it was all to do with this COVID thing. And there were other people in the pool. It wasn't just me. Now, everybody was in the pool and they're like trying to, drag their arm over. And they're literally there's like outdoor coats and jeans and trainers and all sorts of stuff on. They wouldn't let you go without clothes on. Absolutely just random. Just genuinely have no clue whatsoever. I mean, I get the drowning bit. I sort of get that. But only being able to... I don't know.
I'd be like, what the fudge?
I literally was like, so hold on, I'm coming swimming, but you're not letting me swim in my budgie smugglers. I have to still maintain. I have to literally just wear like my outdoor clothes, and it was like, yeah, full on coat, whatever. Just get in there, sunshine. I don't know, there's some sort of weird cleansing going on, or I don't know, but.
To be honest with my COVID body, if I'm going swimming afterwards, I tell you what, I probably should wear a t-shirt so it's not fair on anybody else to behold. But dreams of swimming with clothes on means you feel you need protection and you greatly rely on other people. Such dreams appear when we are going through a difficult time in life that you need help emotionally from friends or family. And to be honest, you tie that in with COVID.
Absolutely.
There's a logic behind that, isn't there?
There is a logic behind that, yeah. And that, that makes sense. There's one or two things going on at the moment and you think, actually, yeah, that sort of does make sense. So Obviously, at the time, you don't think that, do you? You just dream the dream, and it's only afterwards, perhaps when you analyse it, thanks to the Reverend Beans, and he does that. You think, oh, actually, that makes sense now. So
I thought you were going to segue into a bit of Susan Boyle then when you said you dream the dream.
You know what? If my singing voice was better, I would have broke into Les Miserables then, dude. Honestly, I really would have done. But that's a whole different podcast.
Don't do it on our behalf, mate.
TBR does theatre.
Now.
There you go. Save it for episode 69 or something.
TBR does the West End.
Yeah, there you go. Or TBR the musical.
Now you're talking. That's the Fringe. They're right there, Sunshine.
yeah. That way, you say that because we've already agreed we're not going to do it.
Yeah, after the little comedian from Warwick or wherever it was came from, he put us off there, didn't he?
He did.
There you go, folks. A little bit of view behind the curtain there.
There you go.
Just as a slight aside, though, when we talk about just that dream, just triggered a memory for myself there, actually, Gaza. In terms of that first episode where I shared my most embarrassing dream, and it's almost like sharing it with you was like shedding it from my mind because I have not had that dream since. And it literally was one I would have regularly, and now it's gone. Like I've cleansed my soul, cleansed my spirit on this podcast.
Little penis one, was it?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Thanks, yeah. I glassed over it, but you brought it up, kind of.
Lickle. Interestingly, and I don't generally know whether or not this ties in, but on my dream diary, on the same night that I had the dream about the sort of going to swimming sort of fully clothed and stuff, there was a second one which was again pretty random, and I remember the second dream. It's only happened a couple of times where I've woke up and actually remembered two separate dreams in a night, but the second one, there was me and Ad, and it was actually Mark, who is Adam's young brother, and we were going fishing, but we didn't have any fishing gear, didn't have any tackle, any rods or anything like that. So, and I don't quite understand why, but we went to the cricket club in Old Sage, even though we were going like sort of fishing and stuff, and there's just some random guy that was effectively selling fishing gear out of a cricket club, and we ended up hiring some stuff and then carrying it halfway through Alsager to go fishing, which seemed a bit weird and a bit random again. So I'm not quite sure where that was sort of tied into anything, but that was a bit weird. So, but on the same night of the sort of COVID swimming with clothes.
I have to say there was only a couple of nights when I wrote down two dreams, and this isn't going to be one of them, but I was going to share. But this is one that makes little sense to me, and hopefully you can explain this one to me. So this one I had on the 29th of November. I just moved house, and I didn't like the new one that we were living in. And I was there, and we were watching a TV show, and Grandma, which is what we call Kim's mum, because she's grandma to our kids, and she was getting really, really angry when she was watching the television. And that was because nobody was taking her seriously in the statement that she was making. Because on the TV show, this dog nearly ran into the road, but it didn't. It stopped and it ran back and it was unharmed. And everybody was relieved. And she said, this is absolutely ridiculous. You know the dog wasn't going to die because everybody knows the day before a dog dies, it does 364 shits. It's like, okay. It's like,
interesting.
Right. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard Grandma use those words.
Yeah, it's a phrase I've never really heard used before.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, I woke up and I thought, yeah. Then I thought, hang on a minute. No, that is absolutely preposterous. Why would anybody believe that?
If you did that, man, it would be dead.
Normal compared to that, mate. Wow. Holy smokes! What?
Yeah, that's it is weird.
But yeah, it struck me as unusual.
No, I mean,
I get why that would be the case.
The closest thing I can ever relate that to, though, is a lad who we went to school with by the name of Richard Fawcett once told me that Australians, the day before they die, do a Grogan, which was a giant poo, and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why?
That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. No. I mean, I've got a couple of just sporting related throughout the sort of playing golf and playing football back in the day, and sort of walking down the 18th of St Andrews, doffing my cap, walking over the little Swilcan Bridge, just doffing my cap and stuff. So there's loads of stuff like that dotted around, just memories of sport. One in particular, there was a lad called Bamba. So Sid, obviously my brother Paul, they were playing cricket, and Bamba, a guy called Phil Hickman, was playing, and Phil Hickman he was more of a bowler, let's just say. He wasn't renowned for his batting prowess, although if you talk to him, he was like one of the world's best batsmen, sort of thing. And I remember we were watching the final over, and we needed, I've written it down there, so we needed 20 off the last 4 balls, which is basically like a 6 and 4, 6 and 4. And we did it. And so basically we needed 20 off the last 4 balls, and we won. And the dream was basically reminiscing about the moment where we won. Then those 2 guys walking off the pitch, and we were all dancing and jumping around them, and then in the dressing room and stuff. And then it was sort of everybody showers, and then you get dressed and you go into the bar. And it was actually a dream about the bar afterwards, and we were dancing to Lionel Richie, which was and so there was Lionel Richie songs on galore and stuff with "What a Feeling," dancing on the ceiling, all sort of thing. We just literally everybody's like chucking themselves around, and that was a song that sort of the cricket club adopted and stuff. So that was one sort of specifically sporting related. Sid was in it, and I'd say Bamba was in it. So that was a bit weird. Don't know why that sort of came to mind. It wasn't a memory of a game that had happened. It was just, it wasn't like, oh, I remember on that date we played that team and this happened. It's more just those 2 characters, obviously Sid and Bamba sort of thing. So yeah, that was a bit weird. Fun, and I'd say that celebrations and getting sort of pissed afterwards and stuff was decent.
Was it like an amalgamation then of different, not necessarily memories, but amalgamation of different events, all sort of piled into one, just the general emotion? Do you think revisiting it?
Yeah, possibly. It could have been that real euphoric moment sort of thing, and actually it wasn't necessarily Sin Bamba. It could have been anybody. It's just a culmination of that euphoria about maybe achieving something or winning something or whatever it may be, and then obviously the sort of the celebrating of that later. That was, but yeah, that was a bit weird. But that's one that literally, I woke up and recalled it vividly, so wrote it down, sort of thing, in my diary.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And again, that seems like one that could be very much tied into COVID in terms of what we're not experiencing now.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, the whole missing of the social aspect and the friends and the camaraderie and all that sort of thing, because it does hit people hard, doesn't it? So
yeah, I think we were talking about this last week actually after we finished recording, didn't we? How it affects different people, especially people like ourselves who like to socialise from time to time. And I think that to me sounds like it's probably related to the stuff that you're missing.
Yeah. Now, so I don't know. Has anyone else got any specific? Do you want to throw? Now I've just got a couple more very specific ones that I'll mention, but
my sports dreams are very. My sports dreams have sort of like filtered, like petered off since as a kid. There's always a reoccurring one. Just very briefly, of the first time I played for my primary school, and I remember sitting there and just going, "I'm playing," and then my manager yelling at me saying, "He's past you, Ken," and then I tackled it because I was playing left back. But
yeah.
So Peter was past you.
Yeah, well, the guy.
Because you said petered off.
There you go. See, and
he's here all week.
I know, and the fact that I said I was playing left back, and you missed that one as well. So 50-50 there. But yeah, I remember that one, and playing for college, and I remember there's one dream where I occasionally take a shot in the NBA finals and stuff. But yeah, that's I don't have specific sports ones anymore. Because I've stopped playing as much sports as I used to.
Yeah.
So I mean, with Gary, you play as often as you can, whenever you can.
Yeah.
So it's still a massive part of your life, and that's obviously why you're still having those dreams.
Yeah.
I haven't played for and played football for 4 or 5 years now, and it's there. Maybe that's why the dream is not so prevalent in my subconscious, whereas it's always there for you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why your brain's just trying to fill in the void with regards to I can't play at the moment, so I'm going to play in my head, so to speak.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, lockdown is over. Golf is back this week, so I'm obviously be playing a couple of times. It'll be interesting to see whether or not when I do start playing again, whether or not I continue to have those sort of things.
I assume you still got it. I mean, I assume your first round will be absolutely ridiculous.
Well, wait and see. I'll let you know next week. I'm playing at 6:40 Friday morning, so I'll let you know.
6:40.
Go on then, Andy. Let's hear your third and final. That one that you said you had 3, didn't you? Before I chuck another one out at
you. Yes, this one I wrote more notes on, and I remember it quite well. This is a typical dream for me where it's like different phases. It'll be like different things happening. Like you're sort of blending stuff in. So this one was like, it started off like my ideal of heaven. I was in a beer garden just drinking and no one else was there.
Yeah.
And then like
the 2 things that Andy absolutely loves more than anything else: beer, solitude.
And then just stop there. That'll do it. That's it.
Then I woke up.
Shattered.
more people came and it started filling up and all that stuff. And the next thing, like 3 or 4 people came up to me and says, "Oh, you got to come with us. We got to go to this place." So we went to this place, and it's like a military camp. And I just remember walking into this building, and in the distance, you could sort of see like people on bikes just like going off over this hill. I thought, oh, that's weird. And I sat in this room, and there's like 20 of us all just sat there. And then one by one, people started going out of the room. And what was happening was they were going out, getting on a bike and disappearing. And then that was pretty much it. I think I was like one of the last few people in the room, and everyone had gone. And it sticks in my head quite well because I like computer games, and it sort of was like that where you look at people on the bikes and they just got like less detailed the further they went. Like turned into little sprites and stuff. And I was like, what the hell's going on? What's in this drink? But no, it's a weird dream that was. I think I get a lot of like military stuff, but this one was odd.
Dreams have been taken away to the military can be either an inner or an outer conflict. Dreams where you're taken away to the army, there's an issue in waking life where you're feeling left out, where you could feel ostracized. I hope that's not us.
Well, yeah. Hopefully not.
No.
Go on then. What's your next one then, as such?
Well, it is another one, and this again. Pardon?
From the Bible of Beans.
From the Bible of Beans. There you go. That's a tome that he's writing. So this is one that happened on February the 10th. So the lounge floor was covered in 4 inches of water, and there was wildlife living in it. And Matilda caught a fish in her hands and picked it up and kissed it. And I was like, oh no, that's not how you do it. Watch this. So I got out a fishing rod and I turned off all the lights to demonstrate my hunting skills. Like, this is how good I am. Watch this. We'll do it in the pitch black. And then when the lights came back on, I whipped my rod out and there was a cat on the end of it, and it was absolutely livid, and it showed its anger. And again, it's another one that involves fouling by an animal. It stared at me and just shit on my carpet.
Was the rod a euphemism as well? Or?
No, this is quite
angry
a
pussy,
very long rod.
Angry pussycat, who knows?
So yeah, I didn't feel it was going in that direction. It was angry cats and a room full of fish. It was certainly unusual.
That's. I don't know.
That'd be a shame in that living room as well, mate. Because that's a nice. That would be a shame.
It would be disappointing.
Very disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not so sure what you'd make of that, really. Sort of strange.
Cats, surely cats are symbolic, aren't they? The Egyptian
cats are. Yeah, I'm not massive cat lover.
Everything.
Well, I've got nothing against cats. They don't bother me. But if you're, are you a cat or a dog person? I'm a dog person. No two ways about it. But I don't mind cats.
Cat person for me, absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've had. We had a dog called Monty when my dad was around, and we had 3 or 4 cats after that. I've always been a cat person. I mean, dogs are the only animal in the world where you can walk out of the room, literally turn around, and the dog's like, "You're back. Where have you been? Yes." Cats are just like, food, right? Great, nice one. They're just aloof, and I quite like the fact that they don't require me to be around to do stuff, whereas dogs literally require you to do everything with them. So, but I've always been a cat person. So
Well, that goes down to their domestication, though, doesn't it? And that's the thing, that dogs can be domesticated, cats partially so.
Well, that's why they bring stuff back, isn't it? If you don't feel you're eating right or eating at all, they'll bring you gifts because you're a terrible hunter and they're good at it. So I brought you this mouse.
Yeah. Well, I think I proved categorically I was a good hunter in that dream. I caught a cat in the lake.
Or did the cat catch you?
The hunter becomes the hunted.
Cats are predatory. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And I was a vegetarian for many years, so I was somewhat the opposite of. There you go. Go on, Gaza. Chuck one out at us. We're coming towards the hour mark.
Right, so this is arguably the weirdest one that I'd made. Probably the weirdest one. So we were driving to Matilda's christening, which for some bizarre reason was being held in the Lake District. Adam had sent us directions, so I don't know whether or not it was sort of pre-sat nav or sat navs weren't working or whatever, but he sent us some directions but ended up getting the directions wrong, strangely. Shocker. So ended up driving half up a mountain and didn't meet a girl up there that could yodel, but ended up walking the rest of the way and met a talking rabbit, strangely enough. So halfway up this mountain on the way to Matilda's christening, I met a talking rabbit, and we sat down on this rock and we decided to eat ham sandwiches, me and this talking rabbit, which is a bit weird. And then he proceeded to go into this great monologue about how long his family had lived on the mountain, and it was his mountain and he knew exactly all the ins and outs of the mountain. And I was like, oh, well, that's fascinating. And at no point was thinking, oh, I want to go. Genuinely like hooked in conversation with this rabbit. And then he said, oh, have you got somewhere you need to be? I'm like, oh, shit, yeah. He went, oh, come with me. He then basically moved this sort of stone, rock, whatever, and proceeded to then take me through this underground tunnel directly to the hotel that Adam was at and Matilda was having a christening at, and we arrived on time and we saw the christening. Like just talking rabbits, eating ham sandwiches with talking rabbits, underground tunnels, some weird Alice in Wonderland thing going on.
I was
going
to say, you haven't watched Alice in Wonderland, have you?
No, I hadn't. I genuinely don't even know whether I've ever seen Alice in Wonderland from start to finish. So, that was a bit, but just absolutely. A, why would the christening be in the Lake District? B, why would Adam be giving us directions? We're not using sat nav. C, why would I only be able to drive halfway up there and then have to walk the rest? But then the rabbit know the way, not me. Just whole myriad questions about that dream that possibly would be best to remain unanswered.
If you look up that sort of stuff on Google, mate, it goes to show that people either have no idea what dreams mean or everybody has a different interpretation, because talking rabbits indicates you may face a difficult situation. Dreams that animals can talk represent superior knowledge. A talking animal denotes your potential to be all that you can be. Rabbits symbolize abundance, warmth, fertility, and sexual activity. Perhaps your sex life needs to be kept in check. The list goes on about rabbits, mate. But I'm
Jenny, get in touch.
Honestly, it's yeah, weird. Like just, but like,
what colour was the rabbit, by the way?
It's white.
Was it a normal rabbit or like?
No, so it was white. So no, it was a normal rabbit. It wasn't like somebody dressed up in like an Easter Bunny costume. You know what I mean? It was actually.
What had leading you astray then?
Just to clarify, it wasn't a normal rabbit. It was talking.
There is that, yeah. Yeah, there is that.
It was capable of giving successful directions to a hotel
and eating ham sandwiches. So yeah.
Yeah.
I get to see a rabbit hair or bunny in a dream signifies luck, magical power. I don't. A rabbit is the ultimate in good luck, which obviously goes back to Chinese mythology and stuff like that.
Feet. Yeah,
absolutely. All that sort of. Yeah, obviously, lucky rabbit's foot and all that sort of stuff.
Just like random, proper random.
Absolutely.
And again, that was one that I woke up and went, what? So literally went straight to the diary, and I was like, gotta write that bad boy down.
Yeah. I mean, to go back to what Adam was saying about his angry cat, it was just like about to represent creativity, power, emotion, and independence. They also may signify misfortune, bad luck, or deception of some kind. Either you suspect someone might be deceiving you, or you might be deceiving yourself about something. So your brain was fishing for somebody who's deceiving you.
Something. Don't know what it was, but something.
There you go. Was there somebody at work who was deceiving you, or were you deceiving yourself that you could be a huntsman?
Well, that sounds like it will be a big decision. If I believe that for 1 second.
So yeah, I mean, this thing is just like it's all. I mean, you can read up on dreams and what they mean and what they symbolize it, but it's really full interpretation. I'm sure there is a defect, but ultimately, it's your brain just having.
It's just different people's brains working in different people's ways. That's it.
Just before, I don't know, we're probably ticking over the hour mark now, and this hour has gone exceptionally quickly. Has there been anybody who's had any more risque ones, or is that way back in the teenage years now?
No, not for
smirking.
No, I wouldn't say it was risque. I had a dream about Matthew Perry. He played Chandler in Friends. We were in a film. we were in a film together, and he was playing a government agent with a very heavily tattooed penis. I wouldn't say it was risque, but he kept whipping it out and showing people, and it was a bit weird.
What, the dream or the
both?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'll be honest. Every time he pulled it out, I didn't look. Well, I don't know if
how did you know?
Well, if someone rummages in the pants and says, "Here, love, have a look at this," you know to look away. That's just that. To be honest, that's probably the most solid bit of advice.
It's an old penis envy again, I guess. Answers in the comments, guys. I mean, feel free.
Oh dear, that seems like a good point to end it.
An excellent point. Excellent. Let me just look up. Talking of heavily tattooed penises. No.
Brilliant.
I don't need that much, seriously.
Well, I don't think that was the relevant point. It was the fact that this guy was Matthew Perry was fairly offensive to others, and it was just utterly bizarre why that would be a plot line.
Just before we finish.
Oh,
moving on from your Matthew Perry's tattooed penis dreams. I'm going to mention this last one because obviously I play a lot of darts, and it's genuinely got 4 people who are real life people. So it's got Wayne Mardle in it, and then there's 3 all-time pros. I say all-time, so there's a guy called Shane Burgess, Peter Everson, Richie Burnett. I think Richie Burnett is still playing at the moment. I think, and the dream was that these 3 all-time pros were trying to become successful again. And back in the day, they were all brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
But they'd sort of lost a bit of their touch, so they'd gone to one of Wayne Mardle's darts clinics, and he puts on his darts clinics. And the dream was that because they hadn't got any better, they tried to sue Wayne Mardle, so they took him to court. Oh, wow. Because they were trying to claim that because they'd been to one of Wayne Mardle's darts clinics, they should be getting better and therefore should be winning lots more money. And the fact that they weren't, they tried to sue him, and they tried to sue him on the basis that actually it was sort of misinterpreted as a darts clinic and they weren't getting any better. And it was just weird because where those 3 names come from, Shane Burgess, Peter Everson, Richard Burnett, why not Taylor Barney and whoever, where those 3 names came from, I have no clue.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously I'm playing a lot of darts at the moment, sort of thing, and that might have something to do with it. But yeah, and I know Wayne Mardle does coaching clinics and stuff, but for 3 pros to then go there to then say...
well, here's the thing though, because I know one person that Wayne Mardle has given advice to on the throw, isn't it? Didn't he get back to you?
He did, yeah, he did. To be fair,
And is this the thing? You felt I didn't get any better after what Wayne said. Maybe,
well, no, because I think
maybe I should sue him.
Maybe I need to tweet him and say, Wayne, come on, what's going on here, fella?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he did. He gave me a little bit of feedback and stuff, and he generally and genuinely he said it looked all pretty good and stuff. And I mean, Jimmy Dart's the man, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that was just a bit weird. I mean, Richie Burnett, as I say, he's around it, mate. Welsh guy.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
He's been around it, mate. But
Yeah.
Peter Everson, like,
That's
he hasn't
bad.
been around for and like Shane Burge just hasn't been around. So that was just a bit weird. I just thought just 3 random names that popped in and they were basically trying to sue Wayne Mardle, which was a bit weird. So yeah. So that was sort of not quite as interesting as the Talking Rabbit one, but another sporting one, yeah. So yeah, and they were the sort of the more colourful dreams that I put in my diary, put it like that.
Absolutely,
and probably a better note to end it on than Chandler Bing's Bingaling.
Yeah, definitely.
Chandler Bing.
Yeah, Matthew Perry, if you are actually watching.
Sorry.
Come on the show.
Tweet him, let us know.
Cool. So let's bring it to a close then. I think what we've decided basically out of this is that dreams probably don't have a meaning, and certainly some of those meanings that we've just shared don't really. I felt certainly the ones don't apply to me anyway, and I can tell by the looks on your faces, you probably felt the ones that we shared didn't really mean a whole lot to you either. Is that fair?
I think you can go down. As Ken said, I think you can go down. You know, people try sometimes to find meaning when actually there possibly isn't any. And I think sometimes you can look almost too hard for meanings. And yes, obviously, lots of people's dreams will be steeped in mythology, lore, whatever it may be. But you know what? Sometimes it's just your subconscious mind just doing what your subconscious mind does. And I don't necessarily think you can attribute meaning to everything. So,
no, absolutely.
You know what? It might just be a case of, you know what, you dream it, and let's not try and analyze it too much. I take your point. Yeah, there might be times where you need to, but you know what? There's lots of things that we try to pigeonhole and make meaning from and give meaning to. Let's just enjoy the fact that we can dream, that we can escape, and you know, let's just enjoy that.
That's an excellent conclusion to that. I think that's
I like that.
nicely.
Yeah,
I think that's a fantastic way to end that one. I think, as Gary Rafferty points out, that you got a situation there where people will always try and find meaning in everything. Like people find a penny on the floor, or they'll walk on 2 grids instead of 3, or odd and even numbers, or feathers, or I think it's absolutely right. I think it's just like the symbology. We're past the time of symbols in everything from the Druidic times or soothsayers or so they're going the oracles of ancient mythology. But yeah, I mean, the answer to it really is we just don't know. Does the brain do this because it's trying to tell us something? Is it trying to let us into another world that we're trying to view, or is it literally just a slideshow of random images that our brain has put together? Nobody knows. Psychologists don't know, and I don't think we're going to be able to work it out on the basis of an hour podcast. So, but maybe it's I mean, you get those ones like deja vu as well, or deja vu future dreams. Is that something I believe we've discussed in the past? Is that you have dreams that or visions that happen? Is that future you coming backwards to show you that this is going to happen?
And this is all for part 3, Kevin.
Part 3.
We were
dreams part 3.
Yeah, I kind of got off on a jag there because I was quite into that then. But yeah, on that basis, who knows?
You nicely pitched a 3rd episode on dreams there, and for that we thank you, dude. So then, indeed, who wants to say their goodbyes first then?
Oh.
Go for it.
Now we're at the 2-hour mark. It's
Kevin Spacey's not got to mention it.
Oh, there you go. There he is.
That's been good. You can hear our ramblings, and hopefully you all can share your weird ass dreams with us as well. And yeah, there you go. See you later.
Absolutely.
Ken?
it's been nice to be back, guys. I've missed this, and I've missed the chat, and I've missed talking to you guys and talking to everybody out there. Feel free to get in touch, guys. It'd be nice to hear from you. Hopefully, I'll be back a bit more regularly now that my health issues are fixed. But yeah, it's been a very interesting hour, and it's flown by again. And if we learned anything, then yeah, let us know. So thanks a lot for having me, guys. I appreciate the time, and hopefully I'll see you guys all very soon.
Thank you. Gaza?
Echo what the guys have said. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the ramblings of four madmen. And yeah, here's to the next episode. Bring it on.
Indeed. And I'll close out by saying if you are a Hallmark film representative, I will be in touch with my Christmas film idea very, very soon. Don't you worry about that. But until next time, when no doubt we'll have plenty more stuff to talk about, take care.